Hi, Jane.
Hi everyone. Welcome to this week's Appy Hour. Today we're doing Writeback from scratch, and we actually have Dharmishta Patel. She is our implementation consultant. She's kind of our collaboration guru, as I'd like to call. She knows all things collaboration, and she's going to help us set up a Writeback table today. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, thanks, Jane. Yeah, look forward to this.
Awesome. Okay, that's great. You are located in London, is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, London office. I live just about an hour or so away from the office, but yeah, mainly working from home. But yeah, started a couple of months ago, so excited to be here.
Oh, we are so excited to have you. And
Oh.
this is Appy Hour, so it's time for a drink. But since we're both, it's not quite 5 o'clock for any of us, but it's almost then. It's almost there. What do you have to drink today?
So I've just got plain water, but the exciting part is that it is in my Jameson and ginger mug. Well, glass, shall I say? So yeah, since we use a lot of imagination in our role, I'll imagine that we have a little tipple of Jameson and ginger in there. And yeah, let's get through this. How about you, Jane? What you got?
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, well, I've got like it's a French soda. It's called Orangina. It's like Fanta, but with pulp. But it's like a European Fanta, and it tastes better than American Fanta, I think. It's really good, and it's hard to find in the States, I think. I can only find it in little glass bottles, and they're like this big, and they're at like artisanal French bakeries. So I'm really
Mm,
happy to have this in like bulk.
I know which ones you mean. Actually, they come in a really pretty bottle, don't they? And they're quite small, and yeah, they're
Cool.
quite tasty. Yeah.
Yes, Jackie Daytona just said that orange drink again. Yes, I love orange flavored things.
No milkers though. That's good.
And I've really bad internet connection right now. I'm so sorry, everyone, if I'm no Milkus, yeah. I just want to apologize to everyone for my bad internet connection. I'm so sorry. I think I'm going in and out. But Dharmisha, why don't you run the show? This is all you, and we can get started.
Yeah, sure. Uh, just share my screen. Can you see that okay? So I share the
Yes,
right one.
I can see it perfectly fine.
Yeah. So you can see the one with the load editor script on it, right?
Yes, yes, and we are building a write back table, but can you kind of tell us what we want to look at today?
Yeah, so I'm going to create a write-back table from scratch. And you can see here we're just in the load editor part of the dashboard. We've only got 4 columns of data in there. So actually it's a 4 by 6 table. We've got 6 employees. And it really is simple. And the whole point of this is, we don't need a complex file. We can build here directly in the write-back table. But the main aim, I guess, is to create a skills and training management app for employees. And I want to eliminate spreadsheet risk, which is good here. And then users must be able to input their training skills and also be able to see all the skills added by others. So that's the aim.
Okay, cool. So right now we've got four columns, and our goal is to add some more columns, and then have some KPIs and maybe some charts in to kind of see what we're doing, where everyone's skill level is, etc.
Exactly that, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and just start to build. So I'm just searching for the right back table and I can just drag that in. So the first thing you need to do is set up and select your destination. It's your data connection.
Okay.
The file name is QVD, and then file type.
So you've pre-made one for me. That's so nice. Thank you.
And we'll just select our fields here.
Cool. And it's just that simple. So you just want to select the server that it's saved at, the type of file, and then name it. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yep, that's it. And then inject into the load script. So in the beginning, the data editor didn't have this script, and now it's creating a writeback script in there.
Okay, great.
So you can see here
if you don't inject to load script and you just
Yeah, sorry, Jane.
Sorry to cut you off. If you don't inject to load script and you just copy, no worries. If you don't inject to load script and then you just copy to clipboard, do you need to then copy and paste it into the load editor?
Yeah, but it's always wise to use like the system setup here, so you can inject it in, and therefore you don't need to write any code at all or copy and paste any code. So if I show you in here now in the load editor, you can see this extra section's been added, and it's done all the code for us. It showed you the 4 columns that we added, but then also Writeback creates these really 2 important fields, which is created by and created at, which will allow us to audit what's going on. So we'll come back to that in a second.
Okay, wonderful.
Cool. So at the moment, the table is not very meaningful, and this is why we're going to go back into the setup, and we're going to add a lot more fields in here. So it's going to be a little bit of repetition, but it's really valuable to do that. You need to think about your use case, and what variables are going to be interesting. So just bear with me.
So here we are, we're adding in new columns, and it's good to select the type of data we want.
Exactly.
If we didn't select the type of data we want, can we go back and change it later on?
Yeah, you can go back and forth through the setup or directly in the properties panel, and alter the names and all sorts. But yeah, just because time is an issue, we'll try and do it in one go.
Yes.
And yeah, just make the process a bit more efficient for us. So I'm going to add a calculated column as well.
Okay, that's great. And so there's multiple different types of columns that you can have, right? We can have drop downs, text fields, numeric fields like checkboxes. Yeah, color. Color is a really cool one. You can color bars in specific colors, which I think is really cool. Just by choosing the color in the Writeback table, you can actually, it can change, the colors of your charts, which I always think is very cool.
Exactly. You can
and
really
rating,
customize
yes.
the table. Yeah. I just got a few more fields to add in. And just as Jane was saying there, all the different types of data inputs. So we've got icon, and I'm going to assign enjoyability to that. And then we've got a checkbox. So with the checkbox, I'll add task completed and so forth. Obviously commentary, lots of text in there. And a slider. So skills applied to project, it's just fun to use a slider instead of having like an input value, but you can have both. And so we'll go.
So Vizlib's asking a question. What is your favorite use case for Writeback? And as you're doing this, I'll tell you what mine is. I think actually data cleansing is really useful with Writeback. Instead of going in And sometimes changing things in the data load editor can be either difficult or a little bit scary. Using the writeback table is actually really quick and I think easy way to data cleanse. Like if you need to remove the ends of some words, maybe you want them all to be the same. Like maybe for my name, sometimes it's Jane, sometimes it's Jane Lee, and you want to change it all to the same. It's very easy to do that quick change in the writeback table.
Yeah, it's just
cool.
So,
this is already looking a lot better.
Yeah, this is why it's so good to have all those different types of inputs in your writeback, because usually there is one, you don't always have to have text. There's one that would fit to your variable quite nicely, so there's a nice selection in there. But now we've got our variables in there, what do you think we should do next? Maybe maybe the look.
We can start filling it in if we want to. Oh yes, we can definitely change the look.
Yeah, I was thinking it would be so cool if we didn't have to scroll so much. So maybe we could go for like a compact look. What's available under the options? Hang on.
We've got one question for you, Dharmishta, and it's, how would you describe the technical / data load editor skill level needed to use the writeback table?
It really does depend, because obviously if you're going to start bringing in data to enhance your existing data, you could have, you could take it to another level with plenty of like joins and concatenations and data manipulation, all sorts. But if you are building from scratch, it can be very simple. You can see all I've done is create a very simple Excel file, stored it out as a QVD, and then brought in that QVD. And now I'm making that table wider and longer, and that's all going to be done here in the writeback. So I think it really does depend on your use case as well. So
okay, great. That's great. Yeah, I've seen people with not too much skill come in and set up a writeback table quite easily.
Yeah.
And yes, as you go through that, Joe has said that his favorite use case for the writeback table is replacing forms, because the data is immediately ready for analysis.
Yeah, form view is really good as well. We'll add that in. Oh goodness, I'm trying to find the compact button. Be under appearance.
Yeah. Is it called?
Sorry, I probably scrolled past it like 1,000 times. Yeah, so what we could do, we could change this to 0.5, because just having that compact look and feel allows you more real estate space as well. And we can just shift that up since we've only got a few columns in there. And then maybe like the colors of this, I mean, or we could change the title as well, just to make it more meaningful. So
great. We've got one question. This is from Kieran. Is this going to be recorded so we can follow up on YouTube later? Yes, it is. It's on LinkedIn and on YouTube, and you will be able to find this later if you just look up Vizlib Appy Hour, APPYHOUR. We have a playlist, and you can just find this title, which is Writeback, from scratch, !
Yeah, I was just looking for the header. You know what happens in Qlik Sense? Normally you type it in, and in the search element, it highlights.
And you have to find it.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to change maybe the width of the columns, you can press on the header. So if you just press skill level, for example.
Yeah. And then
you can do custom styling. I believe it's under there.
And then
adjust column width.
I
find that whenever I'm on Appy Hours or if I'm doing something live, it's it's always harder to see what's going on, and it's so much easier to miss things. And
Yeah.
when you're just watching a bystander, as a bystander, it's so much easier.
Thank you, Jane.
But we do make these live. Our audience should know that this is totally live, and you'll see us going through what we struggle with. And you know, we're not perfect, so but we have fun making these.
Yeah.
Yes, Joe has said, "Embrace the struggle." That is correct.
It's amazing, you know, how much time you can spend on the look and feel, but you know, it's so much easier to reuse. Like once it's finalized, you can pretty much copy and paste what you have and use it elsewhere. So let's have a
Yeah, totally agree. Sometimes I get so lost in charts. I find that it's like for some apps I can spend, I guess, 70% of the time just going through and tweaking little colors and changing the header size, etc. And it takes so much time. And then sometimes I look at it for so long that no matter what I do, I'm like, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. So I have to take a step back or show someone else, and usually they say, "Oh, it looks nice. I don't know why you keep tweaking with it."
Exactly, you need fresh eyes sometimes. While I'm on enjoyability, so if we have a look, you can see it's got low, medium, high. And now if we're thinking of training, you know, participation by users, I think they should be reversed. And maybe we could add like some thumb icons or something.
Yeah, let's do that. Instead of just arrows, we can change the icon. So here it's options, and what you can do is you can define the options and drop downs, and then you can customize each option. So you can choose like you know, what it's called, the label, and then also an icon and the color next to it, which I think is cool, and it helps make it pop.
So we'll go thumbs up there. So we want green to be the high, right? And there you go. So that's good, and we'll just get rid of the blanks as well. Get rid of that. So yeah, they're set as low, and then we can play with those. And then task completed, actually we'll make that more narrow as well.
And if anybody's watching and they're wondering why the top bar looks different than, you know, the normal Qlik Sense app, it's actually because Dharmishta is using a sheet menu, which is part of the library component, and it allows you to customize the top section and also the selection menu and the background. We chose not to change anything in the background this time, but yeah, if you know any CSS, it's very easy to change around in the sheet menu, and we actually have a lot of Appy Hours. Not a mashup. Yeah, it's not a mashup. So that's why we're not doing a dive into the sheet menu. But if anyone is interested, we have Appy Hours where we go in more in depth. The UFO episode and the wine review episode, just off the top of my head, go into and shows you how to use the sheet menu.
Actually, I'm going to do just playing with the colors there, and I wanted to change the title as well. See if I can find the title. Header settings. Here we go. That's the title. Whoops. Just so it makes it clear.
And the cool thing about the header, we don't have to do it today. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the purple and the blue. I think it's a nice
cool.
combination.
We could change that to that. And then should we do the footer the same color, like the blue, and then we can still keep that as pink, so it will make like the button pop of it.
Yes, that sounds great.
Cool. So we could do that blue. And then the font white is.
And I've got a question for you, Dharmishta.
Yeah.
This is like an ongoing debate that I think we ask all Appy Hour guests. Yes, blue versus purple, Joe already knows. Is the Vizlib logo blue or is it purple?
Oh, I would say it's a purple, really like a dark purple. I don't see it as blue at all.
Yes, cool. Okay.
I don't know if it's right or wrong, but that's
We're
the
on
way.
the same page. Fine.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
It's right. We're in a very small team of correct people, but a lot of people say blue.
Yeah. So with this remaining capacity, we want it, because it was a calculated field, we want it to be a calculation of hours allocated minus the hours worked. So if you select that, we can add our calculation in there. You can see it's got 0 values. We could, to make it stand out, should we change the color, I think?
Yeah.
Just because it's
yes, we can
change.
Yes.
Let's do that. Get some color theme. There we go.
Yeah, so we are able to customize just individual columns, which I think is really cool. So you can make just certain columns stand out.
Actually, I think that I've done that wrong. But let's just, I think I need to go to this one, input background color. That's what I want you to do. There we go. Yeah. We could centralize that a bit. That's better. So, you know, straight away people can see, okay, that's different to the others. Why? Because it's going to be a calculated field. And then maybe the hours worked, we could see these calculators, they're in place. We could hide those. Don't need that one. What else? Oh yeah, skills applied to project. I think we need to allow nulls because not all the employees would have applied their skills to projects, so we can select on that.
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, hours allocated is going to be like a default value, right? So depending on the business, we can put in there, say 35 hours as a default. So you can see that it's all been populated. You could also use bulk editing as well. So in the future, if it was to change, it will add a flag there. I think for us, we're fine. I think that's okay. What do you think? Anything else we should do? We could just start inputting the data, or?
So if we do, 35 for hours allowed, and then if we just wanted to change a few, let's say we wanted to bulk edit everybody except for one person's, like maybe mine, hours worked, to like everyone else is 35 and maybe mine is 30. Could you show us how to do that?
Yeah, so actually then I would need to enable the bulk editor, and then what we could do, maybe turn it off. So it can't bulk edit.
Oh, I'm talking about for hours worked.
Oh, hours worked. Okay. So hours worked. Okay, so you wanted everybody. Okay, let's do that. Switch it on. And so you wanted everybody to be how many, Jane? Say 40 or no?
35.
So everybody's worked full. So you can see that's all been
except maybe one per. And can we change one person to maybe 34?
Yeah, sure. So, but sorry, what I'll have to do is turn off bulk editing. So let's try that again. 35, and then switch off bulk editing. And then here I could do 30. And you can see that it's been calculated. So you can actually have that flag there present. If you feel like the hours are going to be different for different people, then you can disable or enable according to what you want there. So yeah, we could keep that as it is. Should we play around with these ones? I could just put random values in.
Yes, let's do that. We've got a great question that's come in. This is from BizKing9, and it's Jane and Dharmishta. What have you seen as the most common business cases for those who are using Writeback?
For myself, it's mainly to do with, like in the HR department, they want to monitor employee data. They want to see, who's in, who's out. Even like I can imagine in telecoms communications, that would be really interesting to have Writeback there and monitor like the different devices. But from our customers, we've got Siemens and HSBC. These guys, they've got plenty of different use cases where they might want to look at branch level analysis and provide access to different branches or users, and they have input to their input. They can only input into their own Writeback tables, and this is where we have then concurrency issues where people are wanting to write back at the same time. But our latest features within the Vizlib Writeback tables, that we've got loop and reduce in place. So we found a solution for concurrent users, and it's just, it depends on whether you want to have, build and play with a small Writeback table like this, or whether you have many sources of data and you want to move to like production and larger enterprises.
Right. Okay. That's a great answer. And no worries. As you fill that out, I'll say what Joe Worthington has said. Joe has said that what he sees the most is financial adjustments and budgeting, binning / categorizing data, which is quick wins and approvals and sign-offs. So
yeah, I agree with that as well, because we do have a forecasting app. And people always want to be making adjustments to their forecast, and like Joe just said there as well, approval and rejection of changes made. Okay. Right. I won't put too much here, sorry. Okay, so now we can just write back that data.
And for that pop-up, some people might think it looks scary.
This one, yeah, we can change it.
Could be. Oh no, the pop-up when you write back.
Okay, yeah.
And it gives you that like sign. I believe it's just saying we're going to make these changes. We're going to add these new columns into the data load editor.
Yeah, exactly that. That was just the list of all the fields that are going to be added. So if anything new was being added, it will say the field's not existing. Do you want to continue? And then it would then be added. So yeah, it's just you'll see that.
Nothing
to be worried about. So I think with this, one really important one I've missed out is the form view. So
while you do this, we have a really nice comment that just came in from. He's saying we have a nice comment that just came in from Jeffrey saying nice session, and he thinks that the Vizlib color is green. That is a
really?
first.
Oh, okay, that's a new one. Yeah, I just wanted to show you this form view here. So
throwing in a curveball.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder what this dashboard looks like to him. So what you can see here is the form view. So once I just enabled that within the properties panel, you can see this view, and it's basically showing you that one record of data. So it's really useful to be able to have this view because, it's just quicker, a lot cleaner to be able to input all your data in, and you can make changes and make it group up certain fields and do more things like that with it, which I can show you as well.
Yeah, I think it's really good for not losing your place when you do editing, because it's so easy to just go along a line and then just kind of get lost while you're doing that. And yeah, the form view is customizable, as you can see Dharmish is doing. You can add in groups and put in lines to kind of separate out different sections.
I'll just shift that to the top. We could call this.
Jeffrey's saying it's not the Vizlib color, but how he wanted to see the table colored.
Okay, so he wants it green. Okay, we can change that.
Yeah, we can change that.
I'll just do one, but then these will then be grouped up. So you can see it just makes the form a little bit nicer, and you can change the width of some of these boxes as well. So it's really customizable. I want you to add an audit table as well to this. So let's add in Vizlib, obviously. Needs to be the Vizlib table.
Yeah, so this audit table, you're mainly using it to see whether or not the changes within the writeback table are actually being implemented, and if so, you'll see the changes in the table. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and we can see these two fields, so we can monitor it. Okay, and maybe we need to add a title to that.
And Cody has just said that the most popular use cases he's seen is project planning combined with Gantt, updating statuses, supply chain processes, and security admin rules. Yeah, I agree. I see it being used with Gantt a lot. And if no one knows what Gantt is, it's actually another one of our products, Vizlib Gantt. And we do have an Appy Hour where you see us been pretty in depth into all the capabilities. Not all, but a lot of the capabilities of Gantt. So check that out. I believe it's called the Road Trip episode.
I'm just changing the header here of our table. Just change the background just so it matches. And then we could change the hover as well. I won't spend too much time on this, but here we go. Hover on is on. Should we change this to
the purple? Yeah, to match the button.
Cool. And then just to make it quickly associated with like skills, we could add an image in there, maybe like the image.
And while we're adding other charts, maybe we can add in like a bar chart and maybe the hated pie chart to see all the different enjoyability in a pie chart.
That's brilliant. Before we do that, should we just add a brand new row in here and just see if we can see the audit trail, just to check that it's working as it should?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so let's add a new row.
And I don't see my name, so we could add in one for me.
Here, there we are. Yeah. in the drop down. So skill for Qlik Sense.
And Cody has just said, thank you for checking, Cody. The Appy Hour episode for Gantt is episode 13. Oh, thank you for such kind remarks.
Getting 5 marks. Okay, that's actually what you've rated the training course. But so you can see yourselves being added there. So we'll do write back. And you should be where are you, Jane? There you are. You're right at the bottom. The sorting wasn't being applied. Where is it? Okay, anyway, you're here. You can see that's the line that we've added. And you can see that it was added at 2:30.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. So at least the write back's working as it should. I was also thinking I needed to. It would be really useful to be able to have an image, so we could be, quickly be able to reference like the individuals with an image. Should we do that? Like add an avatar?
Yes, what we could do is we could add in a text field and then just pull in images from Google. We have a question from Viz King as you do that. What would you say people don't know about the Writeback Table that people should? Any hidden tips or tricks? I think one really great one is when you make a change to something. So let's say for skill group, right now it says BI tools, and we want to change it to BI tool. What you could do is change one, right click, and then you can apply to all. I think that's a really great data cleansing method. If anyone in the comments who really likes to use the Writeback Table has any other cool tips and tricks, let us know.
So
and we have an
we'll just move the image to the
perfect. We have everyone's
employee name. So we could change. I just want to make sure. Yeah, there's something that we need to do. It's actually appeared. There's something. I feel like I've missed out something important with this one. That's okay. Oh yeah, I know. I've remembered it. It's really important. So under other settings, you want to exclude that column from export, right? Because you don't want it to interfere with data. You just want it there for the user, really. So that's the one you need to click there. And then we can change the name.
Okay, and we could use this for any field. Is that correct?
Yes, you can add images to any field. This one is basically linking into an email address that we already have set up, like in our QMC, with the PNG, the image URL. So it's just bringing that in. This is the calculation here. So it looks at your employee first name and your surname, and then brings in the image by recognizing what they are.
Okay, wonderful. We've got questions coming in. One says, if we have the input data in the front end, and by using that info, can it calculate the other dimensions, which we do not have? So, and by using that info, I think the info means by using the Writeback table, can we calculate in the other dimensions, which we do not have? If I understand the question, I think it's asking if we make changes to the Writeback table, will it make calculations to data that we already have, or if it can make new calculations? And
you can definitely make new calculations because that's what we've done here. And existing calculations, if they already exist, like if remaining capacity was already in your data, you could just pull that in and then add your values. So yeah, both you can do.
Okay, great. That question is from Kieran, and let us know if we have answered the question. If not,
yeah,
let us know. And we've got another question from Jeffrey, and he's asking, did you explain the data store output table in use, and is there a process to migrate from one to another after the original setup?
Data store use. I'm not sure I understand the question, sorry.
I believe it's asking about the data connection.
Yeah.
And is there a way to migrate from one data connection to another?
You can certainly set up like data connections using variables in the load script. So I guess as long as you have, the correct naming convention, you can just change the name of your data connection, and then it will be referencing different data sources. I'm not sure if that answers the question, but.
Is there a way to migrate from one? Well, a question that we do get often that I might help you answer this question is, can I just send people my app with a writeback table, have them make changes to it without it interfering with my current app?
No, you can't do that, because you know how with the other extensions you could just share dashboards, because it's not really, the writeback table and the input forms, they rely solely on data exporting, updating QBDs, and then reusing those. So if I was, for example, updating a QBD and then reading it in, then I shared that exact dashboard with you. Should you use the writeback table, you could then be making changes to that QBD. So when I bring it in, obviously it's a different source then, or changes have been made. So it's really important then to establish a different data connection, which is what I did for yourself, and set up your folders accordingly that way.
Okay, so there is a way to migrate from one connection to another, but it's not smart to just migrate and not make any changes to the connection without it interfering with the original user's application.
Yeah. Okay.
We do have an answer from Joe, and it's he does this often to move from QVDs for prototyping to the SQL database. It just needs to be seeded with the data. So for that, he chooses overwrite on the first run for the new destination, and then he changes it back to the default of update. So first you will overwrite your data, and then afterwards you want it to update. So that when you make changes, it doesn't just keep overwriting all of your past data, and then you just end up with one line of data all the time.
Fair enough. I'm just together a bar chart. You were interested in that one, so I can add a measure.
Yeah, we can do that, and then maybe we can do a count of all of the people in different skill groups.
Yeah. So let's see. Then maybe we'll change that to a stacked. Everyone's only done one course at the moment, but they might sign up to different ones. So we'll change it to a stacked, and we can go horizontal. Oh God. Okay, all done the same.
What if we made the dimension skill groups, and then we have the measure as a count of the people in each skill group?
So let's change that to there. Yeah, it's because, oh, you want to do the count, yeah. So, good. You're saying count to the skill group? Sorry, didn't hear what you said.
Or the count of each person, like the count of people.
Yeah. So,
that is interesting. Is the dimension currently skill group?
Yeah, that's skill group. But I was thinking actually, we could do skill or skill group, but what would be good to see is like the total hours work, so we could kind of compare them. Like sum of hours worked, but it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe we'll just change what's in the writeback table, just so we can view like a more variations.
Oh, I see. Right now you have 2 dimensions.
Yeah.
Is it possible to get rid of employees?
Yeah, we can.
And then we can change someone's skill group, and then we can see the change happening in the bar chart.
There we go. Is that what you're after?
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes. And then if we change one, so let's pretend we add maybe somebody else to who knows CSS.
Yeah. So so we could change him, David, to CSS. Is that what you think? Yeah. And then
yes, and then we should see as soon as we write back, we should be able to see it within the writeback table.
You also loved it. Okay. And let's write that back. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the change is happening in real life. A good question that we get often is does writeback allow for grouping? So pretend I choose CSS and then I want to choose the enjoyability. Is there a grouping? So let's pretend if you have CSS, you have to either enjoy it high or medium. You're not allowed to have low enjoyability. Is it possible to group things or have restrictions on options?
I don't know. That's a new one to me. You'd think it would be possible, but you may just need to have like an expression to kind of do the grouping for you. Because right now, you can only select one. Are you saying like be able to select multiples? Sorry, Jane, I can't hear you. Hello?
Don't worry, you're still live, Dharmishta. Okay. I'm in the background.
I was like, okay. Okay. Just wary of time, so I'm just going to add some quick KPIs in at the top. And again, some filters we can just add in just to add more context to our data. So these are just these are measures that we already have and dimensions that we already have in the data, and just change the colors to show, for example, if it's green, then that's a good thing, because obviously it shows that a lot of training has occurred, and then they've still got this many hours to allocate for training, and that's that's already been allocated, and remaining capacity there on the left.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, what's happening here with this chart is because we've just got, say, one or two of the same courses. But what would be interesting, as we have more inputs into our data, where users are doing multiple courses, then we can actually see how many hours they are spending on each of like the different training courses.
I like showing that too, because as you're adding data to it, right, the charts are updating. You're seeing that it's taking what is normally reloaded once a day and making it very actionable. It's something that you could use operationally. In this case, right, like HR is updating this. They don't want to wait to get the data back out. So they're able to see it and see a good mix of things, make sure we're covered in those skills, right?
Exactly that. Yeah, it's just really fast, and having real-time analytics, it's like a first for us, and
Right.
it is the way that businesses are moving. We don't want to have static reports and read-only reports, and this is just basically taking that to another level. So yeah, it's really, really interesting and intuitive. I'm really enjoying using collaboration and learning all the time. So yeah, it's good.
I think Jane's back.
Okay.
She had to go reboot a router or something, I think.
No worries. I know.
I'll stay on just in case, because it still
today.
looks a little choppy.
Cool. But yeah, sorry, apologies if I haven't been able to answer everyone's questions. But yeah, ping them my way, and if I need, I can get some help from the support guys to help you best answer them.
I wouldn't worry. I think you've actually, for any of our build from scratch episodes, you've built the most comprehensive app we've done thus far in less than an hour. So you did a great job, and fielding questions while you're doing it. That's a skill, definitely.
That's something I need to improve on. But,
Andy said, yeah, that was wonderful.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, collaboration, we've only covered the Writeback Table here, and you saw glimpses there of an input form, but there's so many different ways to use that, and especially with teamwork as well. That's where you get the most power, being able to have conversations right here in with your data as well. So yeah, maybe in the future we'll take a look at those. But yeah, just having simple filters like this, we can see, okay, how many of our employees really enjoyed their training course, and how many applied them to their project. So we'll choose that the 70 and the 83 percentages. And then this gives you an idea of actually your productive employees were, in this example, Jane and Daniel. So yeah, just thinking about other ways to use the Writeback, which components of Vizlib really do complement it, and again with the sheet menu as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if Sarah and Bibi get their hands on something like this, they probably haven't seen something like this before. I know that HR systems that we use behind the scenes can't do this, where we want to go find the people that like this thing, have these skills, and then immediately pare it down and just go outreach to them, or say, hey, these are people that don't have these skills, and we can offer up some courses. So
Yeah.
I hope they catch wind of it. And then you're going to be busy. You're going to have to put this in place in Vizlib too.
That's good. That's what we like to keep busy. But yeah, always learning and playing, and constantly new features coming out with the different components within collaboration. So very interesting, and definitely a high demand from our large customers. So hopefully we can fulfill their requests.
Definitely. Yeah, good stuff covered. There were a number of things that I hadn't considered or looked at putting into like the table like that. The profile image, it adds something different to it, especially when you're working with people, which a lot of the write back use cases are, like I was saying, people approving or signing something, to just have a picture of that person next to it, that this is the person that needs to approve or hasn't approved the thing yet that you need.
Yeah.
It's a nice reminder. There are people behind this data. Yeah, this is really cool.
Oh, brilliant.
Will you be able to, and I don't know if you have a version of this too, I know we're on the fly, but oftentimes we'll take this, maybe clean it up a little, make sure the data is in a good format, and we can share it and get it published for people to download.
Yeah, happy to do that. Like I said, we'll change the data connections and stuff and make like a proper demo version available for yourself and our customers. And yeah, that would be good. Happy for you guys to tidy it up as well. And yeah, give us a shout if we can, add any other elements to it of collaboration.
Perfect. Jane, are you back?
Everybody, I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize. It's fine.
That's okay.
We all know how that goes.
Yeah. It's good to have you back, Jane.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So yeah, we were just kind of talking about, the positive aspects of Writeback and the new features of having the profile image and, yeah, just the different use cases out there. So, but yeah, but is there anything else you want us to do? I've added like the KPIs there, got the filtering. You mentioned a pie chart, but
that's fine. We can skip the pie chart. Emily will be happy if we didn't add one.
That's why I put that at the bottom of the list there, Joe.
Good. I don't see any other questions that came in. There were some good discussions right in the middle. So if you're at a good stopping point, Jane, you want to wrap it up? Do you want to give people any previews of what's coming up in the next month or so for Appy Hour, or put out your request, right, for other people? Maybe. I'll ask. If anybody would like to come on board, sit in the hot seat like Dharmishta did today, happy to have you as a guest on Appy Hour. We have a couple of guests coming up from the Vizlib Legends, I think in the next few weeks. And we'll have some fun with some more episodes too, as I think new features will be coming out for collaboration among our other products. And we'll, I know there's a lot of stuff around SaaS and Qlik Cloud that we'll want to highlight likely in an episode 2. So we might have to have you back, Dharmishta, to talk through some of that stuff too. But thank you so much. Cheers. I just have coffee. I don't know if, I know Jane still has her orange drink left. There she goes.
Okay, I am back, guys.
We're just cheersing.
Yes,
I think
I do.
You're right at the end. So thank you again for a wonderful Appy Hour. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this for some good tips. So yeah, that was a great one. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Have a good afternoon.
All right. Talk soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.